Howdy, I'm Teresa Thomas, and I am the Program and Community Manager at Wings of Hope.
You're the one that has to wrangle up the volunteers and all that?
Oh, no. No. There's somebody else for that, and she does an amazing job.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to all these nonprofits, and they say that's where it's at, is trying to get volunteers. And you know, there's a lot of call for volunteers these days, so... You know, but anyway, we're going to talk all about that. But let's talk about the sponsors, because they make all this possible. First of all, of course, we have our friend Otto at Our Place, and it's always a great place. I was there twice last week. You know, if I keep going there, they're going to put an apron on me or something. You know, but it's always a great place to do business. I like to go there and talk over business with my B&I friends or potential sponsors or whatnot, because it's a very comfortable atmosphere. Everybody knows it, and so they're comfortable there too. Also, Gina's Pizza has opened up. Have y'all been there since
Not
it's open?
yet. It's on my list.
You need to go, because it's really, the food is great, but it's also the atmosphere. You know, it has the blues music going on, and if you want to watch the ball game, there it is. And you know, but it's not blowing you out, you know, like some bars will do. I'm not as big into sports bars as I used to be. I'm not an old man. I need to think. Anyway, thank you, Otto, for all you do. Also, thank you to Wild Cigar. I was there visiting about a week and a half ago. They got a lot of stuff coming up in July, a lot of vendors coming by. So you can come by and get some cigar deals or gift certificates. They have the bar there, of course. It's a very nice bar. And it's also a quiet place for old men to think, you know. So, or young men too. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all know any cigar smokers in your lives?
Oh, yes.
We do know one or two.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even if maybe you yourself out there aren't a cigar smoker, you know somebody is, and it's a good place to go get them a gift or her a gift. I walked in there a month ago, and there was 3 ladies sitting around just puffing away on a cigar. So, you know, so it's not just a man thing. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Also, our friends over at Southern Gym, you know them, you love them, over at Standard. They got a big event coming up at the end of next week. They're going to be celebrating their 1-year anniversary in their new location, the current location, and they're going to have some great discounts. And Gayla's going to tell me Wednesday at our B&I meeting precisely what those discounts are. But she already told me there's going to be some, and there's going to be some, you know, hors d'oeuvres and things of that nature. And you know, what I like also, you know, for the men in your life, you know, jewelry shopping is usually a female thing, but there are men that go there, and they have male jewelry, but mostly it's couples that go there. And the wife is looking. What are you going to do with the man? Well, what Kayla does, she's like a little bullpen area with a TV and a bar. And it's, what a brilliant idea.
She has the perfect answer for that.
She does.
Yeah, I mean, you know, get a Dr. Pepper or a little tequila or whatever.
Some whiskey.
Whiskey, yes. Exactly. And she likes bourbon. And so, not in excess. All right. Anyway, but the point is that she understands about how to keep the ladies in the store without having a husband tapping his watch, you know.
Right? It's a win-win for everybody. Yeah. And she knows how to throw a heck of a party.
Yes.
She does.
Did y'all go to that Kentucky Derby party? Oh, yes, you did, because she raised money for y'all. That's right.
She did.
How did that work out for y'all?
Fantastic.
I bet it did. She's big into horses. She used to show horses.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she and her husband own a couple.
Yes, they do.
So there you go. Also, thank you to Two Maids, Brenda Ramirez, who does the cleanup for Gala and all the Windmiller clients and other businesses like that. So, Two Maids, say it right, dummy. TwoMaidsCleaning.com/Burleson, 817-764-0733. And they'll set you up with a plan. They set you up with something to fit your schedule, weekly, bi-weekly, once a month, deep clean, whatever. They got it all together, various pricing points. So you also pay them based on the rating. And so if you know, and I asked them, how often do you get a, you know, substandard rating? She said, it's happened one time in a year and a half. And so.
That's great.
Yeah, so okay. You know, that's a pretty good record. And then maybe that person was just a cranky old, you know, editor. Anyway, so thank you, Brenda, for what you do. Also, Old Pro Roofing. I don't think today's rain is going to cause problems, but you need to get your roofs inspected. I've been texting all morning with a friend whose son and daughter-in-law are down in Houston, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be caught short, you know, because, you know, we may get caught in, you know, some windstorm or something like that. So I have John Williams come check your roof out. He's at 817-734-2756. This is the time to find out if your roof is leaking or not when it's raining. And so there you go. Old Pro Roofing, give John a call, and he'll take care of you. They're local folks. And also, speaking of local folks, we have Jeff Kelly for real estate at the Wethington Agency, 817-781-0546. or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. He was on the show on the 25th of last month. We were talking about Burleson real estate and interest rates and, national scene and whatever else. So check out that show if you want to hear about that particularly. But give him a holler if you have real estate needs of any kind. Okay. What do you want to talk about first? Just a general overview of your outfit, or you want to talk about that roundup first, or you want to do that at the end?
Let's talk about horses.
Horses. What we mentioned earlier about horses and their personalities. I have 2 cats at the house. Reluctantly, unwillingly, they're my daughter's cats, and cats suck. All right, that's all there is. They really do. Are horses like that too? Do they have their own personalities? Like some are easy to get along with, some are very difficult and high management and all that.
Horses definitely have their own personality, just like all other animals. They can be very loving, very standoffish, very demanding, all the things, just like our dogs and our cats. And we were talking about how they're either like a dog or they're like a cat.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, they can have like such contrasts in personalities. And sometimes too, I think it depends on who they're around, much like us. If we're around our bestie, we're going to be, loud and fun and cracking up and, no filtered. And some of the horses can be like that too. They're super, super intuitive animals. So they really know how to, read a room, and they have to because of the, being a fight or flight animal. So it really has to do with their survival. But, they can, they come in all different shades. We laugh sometimes. We'll put, human personalities on them, and there's one that we're like, oh, he's our attorney, and he's, kicking butt in a courtroom. And then we've got our Dennis the Menace, who's, younger, and he would be that kid in the classroom that, the teacher loves, but goes home and maybe has a glass of wine after class because she had that student in her classroom.
But the kid or the student having a glass of wine?
Yes, all of the above.
Oh, I'd tell you, teachers, it's so funny because particularly when I was younger and, I had younger students, and I'd be spotted somewhere and have a glass of wine on the table, and they're like, you're supposed to be back, grading papers. They're like, you're not supposed to be outside.
You're a human?
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I saw a teacher with a glass of wine at a party at my friend's house. I'm like, Mrs. Robinson, what are you doing?
Yes.
You should be home reading history books or something, So.
Or hearing their first name. That's always hilarious, too.
Yeah.
You see Mrs. Robinson in the grocery store, and somebody's like, hey, Kelly. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
I have a friend named Kelly. You're a human.
Yeah, right. But anyway, but these horses, though, I mean, I guess since you know their personalities, I bet you pair them with the right kind of client, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's part of what I do as the program manager. Is I take a look at what their needs are and what their goals are, and see what horse best fits those needs of what is needed for that client.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I have this idea that most of your clients probably want pretty calm, docile horses, right? They don't need excitable or high-strung horses, right? Because a lot of the therapy, as I understand it, was there that kept kind of, calm some of the problems. Like you were describing some of your students that were had various issues like anxiety or maybe cerebral palsy or whatever else. And so I'm sure that goes into effect when you talk about what kind of horse. And this one, if we know is a high-strung horse, you might want to steer that one to somebody could handle it better, right? Is that how this works?
Yeah.
Well, the great thing about our horses is when we bring them into the program, they go through 60 to 90 days of desensitizing to make sure that they are a good fit for us. That's if they're donated.
How do you desensitize a horse?
We introduce them to all the things that they might see in a lesson. So we have noisy hula hoops, we have frisbees, we have bean bags, things that fall over, things that make noises. And so we allow them the opportunity to walk up to that and see what it is and make sure that they feel safe around it. And we work with them for a very long time on that. Not only that, but there's a ramp that we use for some of our riders to get onto the horse. And we have to make sure that they're okay with that area because it's very claustrophobic for a horse to walk into that area. So we give them the opportunity to get used to that before putting anybody on them, before putting anybody around them. We have wheelchairs, we have walkers, you name it, we try to introduce that to them. And what we're looking for is for them to keep their feet still and accept it.
Maybe I was just told this by my cousin, and it's just his way of doing it. But do you have to get on the horse on the left side, or is that just a thing?
So we do it on the left side,
Yeah.
but really you should be able to get on your horse on either side.
All right, but it just he told me when I was a little kid, get on the left side because you get on the right side, he'll throw you. And I'll go, okay, I'm just 9 years old or whatever.
Sure.
But what do you? We talked about some of this last time, but it's maybe evaded my memory, which I'm losing my memory, so I'm deciding if I want to run for president or not. But anyway, sorry, I had to throw that in
Give
there.
it a 10.
Yes.
All right, but anyway, the point is that these horses, they're donated, or do y'all buy them?
So we, for the most part, most of our mission has been donated horses, but we are at the point now where we do have to purchase horses.
Oh, why is that? Just they're not coming
The
in.
economy.
Yeah. Who would donate a horse and why?
So most of the time when, our horses are donated, folks just kind of find out about us word of mouth and call and say, hey, I have, a horse that I'm no longer needing for whatever reason. So some of our horses, they've come to us and one of them, for example, was a previous show horse. And the young lady that owned that horse was graduating from high school and going to college and not able to take the horse with her. So usually it's some type of situation or scenario like that, to where the horse is still, young and physically and mentally sound and still has a lot of longevity in them. So those are the horses that we're seeking. We do get a lot of calls for folks, understandably, who just can't take care of their horse anymore. Teresa mentioned economy. That's a big one. Folks are unable to afford to be able to take care of their horses or being able to find hay. So we have to be very mindful that, we're not a rescue, and that can be a whole nother business within itself. So the horses that come to us, we generally don't accept a horse that's older rather than 18, because we want to get a lot of longevity in them. So when Teresa was talking about that desensitization, we have a lot of repetition that goes into that. And so all of the training that goes into our horses, it's kind of adding to their horsey resume, if you will. So on top of whatever they're coming to us with previously, and we usually want to get anywhere from 10 to 15 plus years out of that horse. So if somebody calls in and has an amazing 25-year-old horse, they probably are. But unfortunately, the time that it takes us to be able to put in that training, and then the bond that our clients, accept and that partnership with them, that can make it difficult if we only have that horse, the return on the investment for a year or two. So
yeah. What is a typical lifespan of a horse?
It's kind of a loaded question, but typically I would say a horse is considered elderly, starting in their mid-20s or so, but they can live typically anywhere from, upper 20s, early 30s, depending on the breed and the size, much like dogs. So a smaller, like a Chihuahua can live for 1,000,000 years, but a Great Dane not so much. So it can be the same thing with horses. Big, large draft horses generally have a shorter lifespan, but the miniatures or ponies can have a much longer lifespan.
I know the benefits of donating a horse. I'm sure there's tax benefits and the feeling good benefits. But if you had like this young lady with a show horse that she had to unload because she couldn't take care of it anymore, and it was still in the prime of its life, wouldn't that be a pretty high dollar horse?
It can be. Yes, it absolutely can be. And sometimes in those situations, it truly is a high dollar horse and monetarily, but also in the partnership with that particular owner too. And so a lot of times they really just want that horse to go somewhere that they are going to see that horse continue to be able to make a difference and have that bond, and know lifelong where that horse is going. Like I said, when we take in horses, whether they're purchased or donated, our goal is to keep them lifelong, essentially, whatever that looks like for that horse. And so sometimes when folks maybe have a 10 or 15-year-old horse that still, they've only lived half their life at best, when they come to our barn, that donor, that previous owner, is going to know where that horse is essentially for the rest of its life, versus selling it and not necessarily, you sell a horse and you relinquish those rights and you don't necessarily know where they go. And so if you've had a great relationship with that horse and they've taken you through the show ring, or they've you've kind of grown up with them, a lot of times that we find that is kind of the deciding factor as to why someone doesn't want to sell them. and kind of go that route to donate.
Well, yeah, I'm sure y'all been to the stock show before, right? And what always cracks me up a little bit is when they always have like this champion steer or the prize horse or the whatever, and and everybody's auctioning and they bid and it makes lots of money, and then you always see the tearful or departure. The young person's been taking care of that cow or that horse or whatever for all its life, and they're all teary-eyed, but they just got a couple $100,000 for it, and that kind of thing. Like I'd be crying for different reasons if I got a couple $100,000, but I'm just saying I have had a lot of students over the years, ex-students, current students that are involved in ag and all that, and they would show every type of animal you want to think of. It seems like peacocks or whatever, but horses, pigs, cows, whatever, and it's like they develop like a pet-like affection for them. It's like they're not just a horse. It's a It's
a family member.
Family member, yeah, that's the word.
Exactly.
And it used to crack me up a little bit because, particularly the young ladies that were involved in horse-related activities, they just loved those horses. Couldn't stand the guys, but they loved the horses.
Yep.
And
the great thing is if they did donate them to us, that they could come and visit anytime. We'd love to have them come out and say hi.
I just wondered, if the potential profit they can make off of that or recoup it. But when they do the tax write-off, I'm sure, is it the value that they could sell it at, or what kind of value? I wonder. Is that something for the tax guys to figure out?
That's our magical answer. Yes, is for the tax guys. But yes, essentially, any donation that comes into our program is tax deductible because we are a 501c3 nonprofit. So when a horse is donated to us, it becomes our asset. And then is considered a donation in kind, and they receive a tax receipt for that, and then are able to. Sometimes they'll even have like an equine appraiser that will work with them on the kind of donor side. But yeah, there's definitely kind of lots of ways that cookie can crumble.
Yeah. Now, besides just horses, though, you'll need other types of donations as well, right? Not just money too, but other things.
Absolutely. So we have our biggest fundraiser August 2nd called Roundup for Riders.
We'll be talking about that in about 7 minutes.
Okay. But we do need donations for that, for our silent and live auction. We also take donations of tack that either we can use towards our program or we can sell it for a profit to put towards our program supplies.
Do you have like a resale shop out there?
We don't. What we do is we turn around and resell it, and Allison can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so like Teresa said, we'll take in those donations, and if it's something that we can utilize in our tack room, in our barn, then we that's what we do with it. If it's something that maybe doesn't fit our horses, maybe it's not the right size, or we already have 10 of whatever it might be, then we do have a couple of different avenues that we will take and then sell that. So we put things on eBay, we'll put things on our page, Facebook Marketplace. We'll sell things with local like tack and consignment shops as well. So yeah, we're always looking for good things.
Well, that's good because tack ain't cheap.
Right.
It's all the equipment. I would imagine taking care of a horse is one of the most expensive hobbies there is out there. Food and tack and not storage, shelter. Stables and whatnot. It's not a hobby you can just lightly take up. It's not like owning a pet goldfish or something like that. But that's all right. But but you also need probably food. I'd imagine hay and other types of feed.
Yes. So our horses are on some special feed. Jennifer's not here, so you're going to have to help me out with that because I don't know all the feed that the horses are on. But if you want to explain that.
Yeah, so our herd does have a variety of kind of nutritional needs. We do have an aging herd right now, which because we do have a lot of tenure within our herd. We have horses that have been with us for 10, 20 years.
Wow.
So yeah, you think of it, if they've been working in our program for 20 years, then they're old. So, with age comes different needs. But we have a great partnership with Cook Feed Store in Alvarado. So anybody that wants to, put some money on our tab over there, we would, never turn that down. We also work with a great family out of Alvarado, the Crossan family that works with us for all of our hay needs. So yeah, we spend probably about $75,000 a year on taking care of the herd and meeting all of their nutritional and their healthcare needs, their veterinarian needs. Any horse people that are listening, you could put a horse in a padded bubble room and they would still find trouble. So, and for whatever reason, the good Lord in His humor made them to be some of the most sensitive animals, even though they're the most largest playful animals. So, yeah, it takes a lot to take care of them and maintain their health. They love food more than I do, so that says a lot. They like grazing. They eat pretty much 24/7.
Well, when I moved down here many years ago, I noticed there's a lot of horse ranches down here, and particularly west of here and southwest of here, there's a lot of more than cattle ranches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting, and so I guess y'all can tie into that community and whatnot. As far as financial, so let's talk about that roundup. Okay, it's August 2nd, right? I believe you sent us some pictures. Is this from last year's roundup?
Yes.
Okay, let's run through. Well, let's talk about this first since Taylor has it up. It's going to be August 2nd at 6 p.m. at River Ranch Stockyards. I'm not quite sure that it is, but it says 500 Northeast 23rd Street. So it's not,
right behind the Drover.
Oh, okay. Now I know where it is. So it's not at your place. It's going to be there instead. Okay.
Correct.
Well, I'll tell you, the Drover's very nice, I've seen. But anyway.
Well, these are some pictures of what our silent auction area looks like.
Okay. Not so fast, Taylor. Hang on, back up. Let's go back to the first one here. We're not catching a train, even though we hear them all the time. All right. Anyway, so what normally is donated at these kinds? Because is it horse, equine related, cowboy
not all
related?
of it. We have a great mixture of jewelry, and as you can see, there's some wine there. We have different packages that are made up of maybe some kitchen or laundry or different things like that. And then we have paintings, purses, really anything.
Yeah. Experiences, sports, memorabilia. We call it our party with a purpose, and it truly is that. It's kind of our one time throughout the year to be able to invite all of our donors and friends, all of our community to come in and party.
Okay.
So we
there you go. A little closer up. You say you have wine donated.
We do.
I have a vintner coming on a week from Tuesday, so I'll see if I can have them steer some wine your way because it's a new vintner.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're getting into the business, and that might be good. Not only just good for publicity, but it's also they're very good people. They're very charitable people. So we'll see what we can do.
Sure.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and so. I just thought everybody would be horse related. You're going to have hats or, boots and whatnot. I don't know what else. Do a lot of the Western wear stores and all that. Is that somebody y'all talk to about some of these donations?
Yes. We've had boots and custom boots. We've had custom hats donated in the past. Anybody out there that wants to donate for this cause, we would love to have that again. But yeah, we've had saddles and pads and all sorts of horse-related things.
How about just gift cards? I mean, sometimes...
Absolutely.
Because, if I were owned a Western wear store, would I donate a pair of boots that may or may not fit somebody, and it probably cut down on the number of buyers or potential bidders? I'd probably just, a gift card would be probably more appropriate for me to use.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, okay. Then keep going, Taylor. There you go. Little squirts there. They just. By the way, seeing that little kid reminds me. There's a little kid my wife follows on Instagram. Just cracks her up. His name is Jackson something or other, and he's like that boy's age on the right there, and he's talking tractors and John Deere.
That guy's incredible.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, my wife thinks he's hysterical because he takes it so seriously, and and then these guys come up and they're talking to him, and they go, he's just a little squirt, but he knows all about these tractors and all about farming, and he's like 10 years old. What's his name? I think his first name is Jackson, but I can't remember his last name.
I don't remember his exact name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she said she's shown it to me a couple of times because she thinks he's a hoot. Because he takes it so seriously, and because he does, the guys he's talking to, they'll take it seriously.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well,
so the great thing is Roundup, everybody's invited.
Is that looks familiar on the left? Who is that? Is that just? Is that somebody?
It's just a guest.
Okay. He looks familiar.
He's a wonderful guest.
Okay, I guess he is, but he looks familiar. But what the heck? And Oh, is this then? You could have it at this place again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this is a nice looking place.
It's very nice. Last year we had about 370 people. We're hoping for the same amount this year. The food is delicious. We'll wine and dine you, and we'll have live auction, silent auction. And this is a picture of our Chuck a Duck. So everybody that wants to participate can purchase a duck. They chuck it onto the bullseye, and the one that is closest to the bullseye or on the bullseye wins a prize.
I don't know about that. Well, it's something for the kids.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's a lot of fun. And we have folks of all different ages. We have kids are welcome to come. We truly invite everybody. So admittance to the event is actually complimentary. It's kind of a model that's unique to us because with our mission being inclusive to everybody, we wanted this event to be inclusive
So
to
there's
everybody.
no upfront cost.
Correct. Yes. So that way we are not limiting who can come. We have so many partnerships within our community, and we found that when we would go and approach people and say, "Hey, we want you to come," people would immediately get that like, "Oh, great, okay, it's they're asking me to come to this
$100 a
event, and
person.
yeah, it's already gonna be $300 for me and my spouse to get in." So we didn't want that to hinder anybody from coming. So instead, we allow the admittance is, like I said, complimentary for everybody to come, and then spend what works for you. Because if somebody can only spend $50, that's $50 more than what we had, and that's 2 bags of feed. So
it's like pass the hat, literally.
Yes. Yep.
Pass the cowboy hat.
Yes.
Alex Phillips here says, "Good morning." He says, "You're a wonderful organization in our community. We're grateful to have them." So you know Alex?
We do.
Okay,
we
good.
love our City of Burleson friends.
Yeah.
Good morning, Alex.
I have him on every now and then. We try to beat information out of him, and he never comes across.
I know he knows all the secrets, all the good things coming to town.
Okay, and there's your slogan there, your logo. So that looks like a pretty nice little event. So this is August 2nd at 6:00. That's a Saturday?
It's a Friday. evening.
Okay, it's a Friday evening. Okay. Friday
And
evening.
we have Rich Hooper from The Journey is going to be our MC. And we also have Bronson Lewis as our entertainment. So
Hey, Rich was from The Journey. Is that the station down in Keene?
it is.
Okay, I get
It
them.
is.
I'm just got to get them all straight. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Bronson Lewis will be our music for the night. So he'll play a little bit before the whole night begins, and then we'll have a dance after.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
So, did you tell you who the band was going to be?
Bronson Lewis.
Bronson Lewis. Okay, because I'm not familiar with him, but I'm sure he's great.
He's local.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah,
Okay.
He's awesome.
He's a local guy.
Yeah. And so, is this like your big fundraiser for the year?
It is.
All right. You don't have other smaller events?
We do have smaller events all throughout the year. We pretty much fundraise 24/7 because those
Yes, of
horses are
course.
eating 24/7.
Right.
But this is our largest fundraiser, and it is pretty much our bread and butter and our sustenance. So it's an important one.
Yeah. Do you have I'm sure you have a target in mind.
We do. Yeah. So
tell us what it is, or is he going to keep it secret?
no,
right.
it is not a secret.
Yeah.
$1 million. We need $1 million from. But,
Well, wow.
But we'll settle for.
we will. So our goal for this event is to raise around $175,000, and our operating budget hovers right at $500,000, about $500,000 to operate. So this is, like I said, it's a large percentage of our budget.
So, but your clients there is a fee with them, right?
There is,
Right,
yes.
right. But I'm sure this helps defray a great deal of that fee.
Correct.
Right, because it could be a lot
Absolutely.
more expensive otherwise.
Exactly. Yes.
So, do you have like a sliding scale or something like that?
We do. We have a commitment and have from our co-founders from day one that no one will ever be turned away for inability to pay. So 100% of our clients are receiving subsidized pricing. The state of Texas and some of the kind of state agencies dictate that our services are usually billed for around $77 per hour. We never charge more than $40, and we have individuals that maybe only pay $40 a year, or $40 a month, or $20 a year. So we want to make it attainable for everybody, because again, we're inclusive. So and anybody that can come and we, like I said, don't want money to be that deciding factor. So funds from this event go right back into that, so that those fees can remain low, so that they're attainable for everybody.
So if you exceed that 175 figure, that's just more benefit for your clients, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because I understand working nonprofit's not a way to get rich quick, you know?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But, you know, because I talked to a lot of the nonprofits, and also I want to remind you about September 16th, North Texas Giving Day. I talked about
We'll
it last
be
time.
here.
Yeah. So good. But I've been talking to the nonprofits, and, you know, the economy is impacting them. You know, it seems like from what I've been told by several of them that people are still more or less donating stuff, but they can't donate cash as easily as they could before.
Right.
And is that y'all's story too?
Yes, we do find that. Yeah. And we, you know, we're in our 28th year of existence. So we've seen different economies. We've seen the hills and the valleys.
I bet during COVID, it was a problem.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So we really just rely on the time and talent and donations from folks, no matter what it is, whether it's donating literally their time as a volunteer, or maybe they have a saddle that they can donate, or they just decide they are not going to have their Starbucks for that week and give us $20. That's the main thing. We just really want people to understand that, like, we have donors who are set up to donate monthly, and we have one that donates $5 monthly and has for years. And that $5 makes a huge impact because we know we can rely on that.
Well, so you have the billing set up that most of the others do.
Yes.
Okay, good.
We sure do.
Okay, at the end, Taylor probably has your or website saved somewhere. He has all this stuff in the bullpen, and so we could look at that at the end and how one could do it. But the economy is making it tougher for a lot of the nonprofits. You know, I was talking to my Sunday school class. There's a couple guys that work for Promises Community over on Renfro, and they said their food is okay, but the donations are down. Jennifer Wood said the same thing. They're hanging in there with the food, but the donations are kind of, you know, they're not keeping pace with the expanse. Are y'all expanding as well in terms of your clientele?
We are. We've seen a lot of growth in the last year, and anticipate that we will have that continued growth. And, you know, that's one thing to be said about when economy is down, the services typically that are needed go up. And of course the expenses go up. But you know, God is good. He takes care of us and always has. And like I said, we just really, you know, want the community to know that not only are we here and how can folks help us, but that we're here and how can we help you. And so that's really kind of the mantra of our mission is first and foremost is, you know, here's who we are and how we can help and how can we help you. And if somebody doesn't have that, then it's okay, then how can you help us? And what does that look like?
And as far as wrangling up the volunteers, how does one volunteer for y'all? And what would you need from a volunteer? Do they have to have any experience with horses?
That's the great thing. They do not.
Okay.
They have to be 14, at least 14. They have to be able to walk in the dirt for about an hour. And our arena dirt is pretty tough to walk in. It can be deep in some parts, and we try to keep it that way so that it's easier on our horses to walk around. We ask that they volunteer same day, same time for about an hour and a half each week, and they're welcome to do more if they wanted. And that is so that they get to know the horses, they get to know the clients, they get to know their team. And the client also can rely on them to be there every week for them.
So, you know, volunteers are always the main blood, so to speak, of these nonprofits because they don't have the ability to have employees, but volunteers do make all this work, and donations obviously. But the volunteers, if you had money come in, but you don't have anybody to put it to use, and then that's a problem.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
You know, and all the nonprofits are always so grateful to the volunteers because they really make it work. You know, the donations may pay the bills, but it's volunteers that put the whole organization together. When you talk about clients, what kind of clients come to y'all? Because I know we talked about this last time, but I think it's important because this may be the first time somebody's heard y'all or this show even. And so, if they're out there and they have somebody with special needs, what kind of clients do y'all normally receive?
So our clients have to be at least 4 years old. They can have any mental, physical, or emotional diagnosis. It does have to be diagnosed by a doctor. And we do need them to be able to sit up on the horse by themselves. We can help them get up on the horse, but we don't have a lift, so they do have to be able to be up there and get up there on their own.
So a paraplegic really isn't going to be one of your clients?
Not necessarily. Yes and no. we have a ground-based program, so we could have them come in and work from the ground with one of our horses. We've had somebody that had an all-terrain wheelchair that gave them the opportunity to stand up in their wheelchair and sit down, and they were able to work with our horses. So they may not be a good match for our mounted program, but they could be a great match for our ground-based program.
When you showed us the clip last time you were here, you had the client had cerebral palsy, I believe, and so that works for that. I was thinking a lot of times also, maybe it's not just physical disabilities, but you also have clients that have maybe emotional disabilities.
Absolutely.
Anxiety issues, or maybe PTSD. We talk about that in other terms, but some of these kids are suffering through that as well.
Sure.
They come from abusive backgrounds. So I was thinking that was probably another main source of your clients, was not just the physical handicap, but also the emotional and mental issues that may be resolved with that kind of therapy, or at least made better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And we have, I think it's upwards of like 75% of our clients have 2 or more diagnoses. And then we have a large percentage that has 3 or more diagnoses. And so, you think about if somebody is born with maybe cerebral palsy or spina bifida and they have something lifelong, there's probably going to be some anxiety attached to that. There's probably going to be some depression attached to that. We serve, like Teresa said, starting at the age of 4, but we've served up to 94 and everything in between. So we also have adults that are diagnosed with something later in life. So something that could be something like multiple sclerosis that maybe they get in their 30s, 40s, 50s and will be lifelong. Maybe they're a stroke survivor or have had some type of traumatic injury or accident. So sometimes we have individuals that, again, it is something lifelong, but maybe they've incurred that at various chapters within their life. But then other times too, it can be something that it's not necessarily. It might be a traumatic event such as a car wreck, and they're experiencing some type of weakness and anxiety, depression, again, things that are associated with that. But it's something that they can work through and overcome. So we just feel strongly that the partnership of a horse can help folks for where they are and who they are, and really focusing on those abilities, but recognizing that there are challenges with that, but that a horse can help you work through that.
I had a lot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the great thing too is they don't have to. There's not a set amount of time that they come in and they're like, oh, you can only come for 6 weeks. They can stay as long as they want. We've had children that come in that maybe had a bullying situation and they had to work through that trauma, and maybe they were there for 6 months and they felt great after being with that horse for 6 months, and they were ready to tackle life after that. And so it just depends on what their need is.
Okay, let's take that scenario, a bullying situation. How would equine therapy help with a young person that's gone through that kind of PTSD-related trauma of bullying?
That's a great question.
How does equine therapy help that situation?
So getting up on a horse and the movement of the horse is very soothing. The movement of it is very rhythmic. That helps with bringing anxiety down. But not only that, but you're in charge of a 1,000-pound animal, and you're finding that courage and that confidence to move that horse on your own. And so it's just the confidence and everything that a horse can build, and Allison can add more to it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It builds confidence. Also, it's instantaneous. Again, I kind of touched briefly earlier about horses and being fight or flight animals, but they are. Horses are prey animals, and we as human are the predators. And so a horse has to earn our trust. And if somebody comes in and maybe they have been bullied, and so they maybe on the outside are smiling and happy, but they've got all butterflies on the inside, a horse is going to know that. They're going to call you out on that. Also, it could be the complete opposite. Maybe they're outward, they're all butterflies, and they're, very nervous and maybe kind of jiggy or agitated, and a horse is going to sense that. But it's an in the moment kind of bio living feedback for that child to understand and see, okay, I need to be present. I got to take a deep breath. I need to look this horse in the eyes, those kind of things. And any of those kind of things that they can build and have that confidence in the barn, and then take those tools and skills outside. kind of one of my favorite stories is it's actually an adult, and he had experienced, he was a veteran, and so he had experienced a lot of, negative connotations when it comes to Veterans Day with, it was one of those holidays that, people are, oh, happy Veterans Day. And he was like, it's anything but happy, and, would kind of dread the day, et cetera, and happened to be at the barn for his session with his horse, and was kind of talking about this. And one of his kind of, like I said, in your face, like a mirror image was that he was talking about being agitated about that and, being all tough and gruff and mad. Well, his horse walked away from that, and he realized, oh my gosh, okay, I didn't even realize my body language. I'm thinking this is a positive, and it is, because he had a positive experience to be able to lay that out on the table and get that all out. But then he needed that kind of bio-living feedback, that mirror image, to say, hey, I'm not quite appreciating the energy that you're putting off with that. And then he was able to really kind of talk through with his horse and have that moment about, whatever it is they needed to talk about. And then the horse actually came and, kind of nuzzled him, and they had a deep breath together. So it's some of those kind of things that we hear often, that, that particular individual had gone to a lot of counseling and a lot of talk therapy, but that was not necessarily that person's cup of tea, if you will, not right or wrong by any means, but you think of an adult grown man veteran, and you walk in and you sit down on the couch, and it's okay, tell me your feelings today or whatnot. Well, this coffee tastes great. What else are we going to talk about? That kind of thing, And so instead, when they can partner with that horse and choose to do so freely and willingly, and talk about what they want to talk about, not talk about what they want to talk about, groom, brush, walk, lead, go on a trail, whatever it is, it's that kind of in the moment breaking down of barriers that can really make a difference.
But you don't really have like clients that just want to come and ride a horse. This isn't like a dude stable or something like that. This
Correct.
is specifically for people with some sort of medical or physical needs.
Absolutely.
The only thing that we offer for the general public is our summer camps, where they can come in 4 days for a week and work with the horses for summer camp. Other than that, everybody has to have a diagnosis.
When I was teaching high school, we had a lot of kids in ag, as you might expect here in a Johnson County school. But the majority of them weren't farm-related in their lives. They didn't live on farms. Some did, but most of them did not. And I'd ask them, why are you in ag? And a lot of it had to do with the showing of animals and taking care of animals. And I didn't really think of it at the time as therapy. But, as I got older in my profession and I saw the kind of kids that really gravitated to ag, a lot of them were using it as kind of a substitute for something else they weren't getting,
Absolutely. And that's a lot of the reason that our volunteers come to us is they don't get to get up on the horse and ride or anything like that, but to be around the horse and to get that therapy from the horse, even though they're not riding, is still very much therapy.
Well, I realized that's what it was for a lot of these kids. And then also ag had a lot of, group belonging and group activities, and as part of something. And that's what high school is about. You try to find that group that you belong to, and hopefully it's leading in the right direction. Sure. And ag certainly did. But I just didn't realize really just the therapeutic aspect of what that was going on until maybe a few years into my profession, So, I didn't grow up around animals much. I mean, I was on my uncle's ranch, and sometimes in the summer and Christmas holidays, but my parents, my dad in particular, we grew up in a small town agricultural area, and so that was kind of permeating our home, so to speak, and that's where some of these other kids are getting it as well. I want to tail back. We're going to be, we have about 10 minutes left. I'd like to go back to your August 2nd thing, because that, if that really is a big thing, and how does one get a hold of you? I mean, you say you're not going to sell tickets, but do they need to make reservations?
Yes.
Okay, how do they do that?
So the QR code or our website, wingsofhopehorses.org/roundup, they can sign up for their tickets there. And then if they would like to make a donation, they can make it there as well, along with any sponsorships or auction donations. All of that can be found at our Roundup, on our Roundup page.
And
there it is.
Well, I was just about to send him a little message there, but
You're so
he
good.
reads my mind. It's
He's on it.
All right, yes. So this is the page again. What's the website?
wingsofhopehorses.org/roundup.
Okay. And so this is the whole roundup.
This is it.
Maybe also we can look at your donate page as well,
Okay.
to show them out. A lot of people think, well, they don't remember to do it all the time. So when I do it, I like to have done it kind of on a routine basis. Every nonprofit I've talked to said those small donations that are consistent every month. I mean, you'll take $1,000, right?
Absolutely.
But but those $25, $15 monthly ones really make all the difference.
Yes.
So this is it. Yeah.
This is it. So you can make a monetary donation. You can go to our Amazon wish list, donation of tax.
This is what I was thinking about, the person with a wheelchair. Yeah, there you go. The wheel, because I was wondering, could that young person ride a
Yes.
horse? Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, well, these are nice pictures. There's something about horses. What is it, a Shetland pony you got there?
She's a miniature horse.
Okay.
She's about 30 years old and still very spunky.
Do you include that in the therapy? I mean, you can't ride a miniature
No,
horse.
but she's part of our ground-based program.
Yeah, well, I guess probably for a small child, that'd probably be just about perfect.
And adults.
And adults, okay.
Yeah.
So here we are back on the website here, or the logo, August 2nd, 6 p.m., and it's going to be at River Ranch Stockyards, 500 Northeast 23rd Street. And it looks like it's a lot of fun.
It really is.
Yeah, and it's something, as far as the rest of this calendar year, do you have other events? I know not just continual fundraising, but do you have like another event or anything like that coming up for Christmas? Like, hay for the horses or something like that for winter?
So we call it carrots for Christmas.
Carrots for Christmas. Okay, I thought it'd be something, carrots for Christmas. Is that just a separate event that? Because if it is, we need to have you back on the show. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Carrots for Christmas is our end of year giving campaign. And it is where we just, ask for monetary solicitations. And then we also work with different folks in our community. We call it a bucket of blessings to set up a little donation station for folks who donate things either for the horses or for just the facilities. So yes, stay tuned for that. There's always information on our website and our social media. And then our next kind of in-person event is our Valentine's brunch that we do. That is obviously centered around Valentine's. It's a lot of fun too. It's going to be our second annual event. So we just kicked it off this year in 2024. We had it at Pathway. And it was a lot of fun too. Totally different events, totally kind of, different vibes. So yeah, we invite you to, there's a calendar on our website that has kind of all of our stuff going on throughout the year, whether it's something going on at the barn, something virtual that we have going on, or an in-person event. And another thing too, our door's always open. We love visitors. So anybody, anytime somebody needs a brain break from their desk and they want to come out and pet a horse and see us, or come by and see the mission in action, or come out and utilize our sanctuary or our discovery studio, come and have a meeting out there, and we can set up a talk and a tour.
So you could have like little events out there other than horse related, so to speak. I mean, okay. In the location, I mean, I know where it is, but where is it for everybody else?
So we are, our physical address is Cleburne, but we are actually much closer to Burleson. We are on County Road 806, just parallel to the wonderful Egan Railroad tracks. Most people are familiar where that is.
Oh, yeah.
So just off of 917 and I-35.
It gets to me about that whole area out there. I never know where I'm at. I mean, am I in Cleburne? Am I in Joshua? Am I
Yes.
Burleson?
Exactly.
And don't even ask what school district I'm
Exactly.
in.
We are right tucked in that where it's Alvarado phone and Cleburne address.
Right.
Yeah. I think we're Joshua School District. Really should be Burleson.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Across the road from Joshua and Keene. Yes.
Yeah, it's just right there in
Johnson
that
County Central.
nebulous area right
Yes.
there. So I know where it is. And and like I mentioned last time, I drove by it a number of times, but I thought it was just another horse ranch. I'm glad it's doing more than just that. It's doing such a great thing, because I don't know if you don't hear this enough, I'm sure, but y'all's outfit is well known and well regarded.
Well, thank you.
I mentioned that to a couple of people yesterday. They say, "Hey, what's on the show this week?" And I mentioned y'all, and I said, "Oh, I love that outfit. I think they do great work."
Well, we love to hear that.
Yeah, no. So y'all have a very good reputation, to say the least, and they're known for doing good work. So,
Thank you.
as far as September 16th, we have a spot for y'all on the given day. That's going to be an extra long show. It'll probably start earlier because we're having a couple of other newbies, not just yourself, but a couple others that. So it's going to be a big show.
Wonderful.
I'm looking forward to that. I
That's
really
exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. It makes me feel pretty good about the show and what I'm doing here.
Yes.
Because, tomorrow I'm doing a rant about what's going on in politics. That's for me. Yeah, and then let's see. I'm trying to keep up with my calendar here because I make sure I know who I've got. I got one of my BNI friends. I'm in a networking group, and he does promotional items. Maybe I can connect y'all. I don't know. Do y'all need promotional items by any chance? Or
Yes.
Always.
Always.
Okay, that's what he does. I'll send him your way then.
Okay.
Great.
His name is Al Warner, and he's here in Burleson, and he's making some stuff for me, hats and cups and stuff like that. And so,
Awesome.
all right. So, and I don't know, I don't know, whatever you want, I'm sure he can do. So there you
Very
go.
cool.
Anyway, so I really appreciate y'all coming. I enjoy these kind of shows. I'll tell you, before you start the guitar music there, Taylor, I'll let the ladies have the last words, and then you can start. Y'all take it away.
I just
thank
want to, say thank you for this opportunity. Burleson is such an amazing community, and this is how we survive and thrive. And it is this, that kind of networking of, hey, I know this person, or they know that person, or this person could use your services. So again, truly our door is always open. We welcome folks to come in and see either how your dollars or your time is impacting our mission, or how you can be a part, whatever that looks like. We're here to serve, and we're honored and humbled to be here and be able to do it.
And come out and see us on August 2nd. We'd love to have you out there.
Yes.
Remember, it is complimentary. Just make sure that you register.
And bring your wallets, guys. All right. Don't just take advantage of the good food. Just also bring your wallets.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, we'll see y'all in a couple of months, and then before y'all leave, though, let's set up another time just for y'all. Maybe towards 2 or 3 months from now, so we can talk about your year-end events and things of
would
that
love it.
nature.
That sounds great.
Taylor, thanks for all your nimbleness on the keyboards as always. Isn't he wonderful? He just picks
is
it out.
amazing.
Yeah, amazing. So,
Working magic.
all righty, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to be here pulling my hair out or something. I don't know what I'll do. Talk to y'all later.